Hello there, my fellow Cybertronians. This is the Ginger Transformer podcast with Mega Ginge. Well, not so Mega Ginge. Right now, fresh haircut, fresh beard cut. So I'm talking to Mega Ginge, who isn't really Mega Ginge at the moment, and probably won't be for the next few videos. May have to think of a new handle, if I'm completely honest, just for the next couple of videos. I don't know. Last time I said I was going to start on the TV series, Prime Wars series, that consists of Combiner Wars, Titan's Return, and Power of the Primes. And then I'll be moving on to War for Cybertron series, Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom. It's going to be a quick review of the series, followed by a few what the hells that come from the series. This should be mentioned right away. Though they use a lot of G1 characters, neither of these are tied directly. Like, for example, Combiner Wars and that, they're not sequel series to Generation 1, like from the 80s. Just the same as the War for Cybertron series, all three of them are not direct prequels to the 84 series. These are their own separate Generation 1 series and their own little Generation 1 bubbles. Like here is G1, and these are like G1 adjacent and G1 adjacent. So they kind of both go off that way, while G1 keeps going straight out the middle, you know? So yeah, and I had to actually look that one up because there was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of confusing things to do, especially in the Combiner Wars series. So the Prime Wars series, the three of them, they just didn't make sense if they were made after the rebirth, you know, or even after just the return of Optimus Prime. If you just go straight onto the Japanese stuff after that, G1 continuity is sometimes a bit shaky. But yeah, these are G1, but they're G1 esque. They're not G1 that we know, you know. So let's get started with Combiner Wars from the Prime Wars series. It was the first one out. Take note, I didn't see these as separate episodes. I only found out they were separate episodes recently. I watched them on YouTube and there was just one block, then another block, then another block. I didn't realize they were all separate episodes. And so the first block I watched was the Combiner Wars, which took about 45 minutes. It's the 2016 series. And I'll say this straight from the get-go, considering the fact it was trying to, push toys on people. There weren't a lot of characters in it, but I'll do the quick overview, and then I'll get to a couple of key points. Okay, basically, this is set some 40 years after the war ends. When did the war officially end? With the rebirth in their timeline, 2007, 2008. So it's like closer, I don't know, I'd say about 2050. You don't get any sort of Earth timeline with this. It's the good thing about this. There's no humans. I like series with no humans. There's none. So it basically starts starts with two combiners knocking lumps at each other, Menasor and Computron over the planet Caminus. Caminus. I'm not sure it's pronounced, but yeah, this planet's been discovered as like a sister planet to, well, not a sister planet, like a distant cousin planet of Cybertron with a bunch of other Cybertronians on it. The only things you need to really know about this, because we see it at the start, we don't see it again, is that Windblade, the Torchbearers, aka Victorion, and Mistress of Flame all come from here. That's all you need to know. Pretty much because after the initial fight between the combiners, both die. Menasor beats Computron, and then Windblade and a character called, I think it's Maxima, who's in it for all of like 3 minutes. They beat Menasor. Maxima dies. Windblade basically wants revenge, travels to Cybertron, finds out that the council, you love this, made up by Rodimus Prime, the Mistress of Flame from Cameras, and Starscream. Who gave him a position of power? Who was that bucking stupid? Rodimus Prime, obviously. But you get the gist. Basically, she's spying on them using a sniper scope from some sort of big fucking gun. So she's obviously intercepted by someone who up to this point is missing by Optimus Prime. Now, the council's been put in place because Prime and Megatron are both exiled. They were both exiled after the war. Self exile, I think. So it's not as if they just kind of like want to just come charging back in. The thing that they're discussing, the council are discussing, is that the combiner wars are getting worse, and now we must possibly activate the enigma of combination to create new combiners. Yeah, they've got something for that now. It wasn't just like Vector Sigma made it or Grimlock makes them. But, stuff like that. It's just, we've got something akin to the matrix of leadership, and so we use it to make new combiners. Winley doesn't like hearing this, so she takes a shot, which is filled by Optimus, until she tells him, by the by, yeah, they're going to make new combiners. That's what they're talking about. So Prime suddenly is all up in arms. He's like, no, we can't let that happen. So what do? They go and recruit Megatron. And in this scene where you see Megatron fighting the Constructicons, it's the only time you see one of the combiners in this series in their individual modes. It's not even all of them. You see three of them: Scrapper, Hook, Long Haul. Maybe it's those three. Like I say, I've seen this once. So okay, twice. Once back in about 2016 and now. But it's the only time you've seen kind of individual. And they speak like minicons from Transformers Armada in this one. At the start of Titans Return, they're talking normal again, but in this one it's beep 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 beep. But anyway, yes, they recruit Megatron. Eventually, he seems interested in maybe helping, especially when it comes to, yeah, I want to kick the crap out of Starscream. Just, it's Megatron's thing. They don't really attack. They try to reason with the council. Then there's guns pulled out, things get shot up, blah blah blah, and Devastator appears, and then Victorion appears, and then Devastator rips off Rodimus Prime's arm, and things start all getting chaotic, and shit gets blown up, and see, for a combiner war, there's not a lot of combiners in it, if I'm completely honest. But once again, I'll get to the griping after the actual kind of almost synopsis. Basically, Starscream is the only one left to open the Enigma and use it to create a new combiner to help them with the attack up from Prime and Megatron and Windblade. Because Rodimus has got a bad arm, he's like, no, can't do it. And for some reason, the Mistress can't do it. I think it's because she's Kaminoan, whatever what you might call her. She can't do it. And Starscream's like, oh, okay, if you insist, I will take on this great big responsibility. Looks down, looks back up. His eyes have went from yellow back to their natural red color. And I'm like, shit, gonna get good. And yeah, he creates this kind of a giant monster combiner god type being thing. It's weird. It's basically very pink and glowy and glittery and sparkly and stuff. Basically taking Devastator, Victorion, and the corpses of Menasor and Computron and making some giant kind of. Basically, at the end of it, ends up like a giant floating godhead. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And the only thing that can stop this is Windblade being pretty much killed by him, connecting with Metroplex, who's standing under their feet, which everyone seems to have forgotten he's there. And he just like he raises his hand and goes splat. Pretty much end the threat. You know, bye Starscream. This also, for some reason, all the combiners combining into like this kind of weird god head form thing. Yeah, it brings Computron and Minotaur back to life. Maybe they're only in stasis lock. I don't know, maybe. And everyone seems to be back to, they're all happy, like Prime's like, oh, you're alive, yay, good for you. And she's like, no, the Titans are coming. Dun dun dun. End. There's not much in it, if I'm completely honest. Not it's a cartoon, it's aimed at kids, it's meant to sell toys. But at some point Hasbro's got to realise a lot of people are going to be buying these toys are us, 40-year-old guys, maybe plus or minus 10 years, who've been watching it since they grew up. We want a bit more substance in our shit, I'm not gonna lie. At Titan's Return, when it comes to that, isn't much better. But I'll explain about that in the next video. Okay, some little notes and pointers. Once again, I'm old now. I need some notes. Okay, key points. It's first time we see the Camions on screen. Still don't know how you pronounce them. Windblade, Maxima, briefly. Mistress of Flame on the council, and Victorion, who is a bit kind of, she's a bit of a self-righteous motherfucker. So I'm not gonna lie. Eventually, when she gets what's coming to her, and she does, I shed no tears. Just to make that very clear. Okay, Starscream is alive and on the council, as I mentioned. If this was a direct Generation 1 sequel, that would have made sense because we don't seem to actually be destroyed by Galvatron in season 1. Well, not directly destroyed a second time in the original series. He's just kind of like falling through space with Galvatron taking pot shots with his gun. We don't see him get destroyed. It's very possible he could have survived and joined the council after the end of the war. But once again, it's like when I researched it, I said, is this a direct thing after it? No, it's not. Plus, at the start of Titan's Return, I'll spoil this just now. He's dead. He can see his own body. He's destroyed the body before he possesses Triptychon, and he seems freaked the fuck out, indicating to me this hasn't happened to him before. But obviously, it has in Generation One. Starscream's Ghost is the name of the episode. But I digress. Optimus Prime and Megatron exiled. Basically, there was a showdown between just the two of them. No armies, no anything. And whoever won won. Prime beat Megatron. Didn't kill him because let's face it, if Megatron had won, he'd have killed Prime and probably just wiped out the Autobots. But yeah, they were both exiled. So I think it was a Megatron was exiled and Prime went into some sort of isolation, not in exile exactly, but Rodimus Prime's on the council. The Matrix is again, so there's multiple questions raised there. If it was a direct G1 sequel, it's not. But for example, they use the wisdom of the ages from the Matrix, which seems to give it its power to make Hot Rod into Rodimus Prime. So it just refilled in 40 years. I doubt it. Plus, the shell of the Matrix was put into Vector Sigma and the Rebirth, and it never came back out. Maybe it was in there for 40 years. Vector Sigma reloaded it with a lot of stuff and gave it back to, for some reason, Hot Rod. When Optimus Prime was an option, like I said, not specifically G1 related, so it didn't bother. So Megatron, this will make a few people go psychotic. Megatron has a gun and a tank mode. You see him in his tank mode for most of the series and when he transforms, apart from when Optimus Prime takes hold of him in his Cybertronian looking gun mode to try to like shoot the Starscream Godhead thing. Yes, he pulls the trigger. It's a gun, it's a Cybertronian gun. So does this mean that Megatron is a triple changer and always has been? It's not been one or the other. He's always had access to both. I don't know. Maybe it's like this G1 adjacent. He could have always been a triple changer here, I don't know. Maybe. Wheeljack is mentioned in the present tense. Yeah, see if this was G1 related, they've fucked it up royally there because he was very dead in the movie. You see his corpse next to wind chargers. He is dead. Don't know. In the Japanese continuity, you do see him, Perceptor, and Minerva in one of the episodes of Victory. So if it went by that, for some reason he was alive again. Don't know why, but he was alive there. So, eh. But like I said, G1 adjacent. Maybe he just didn't die in the battle. I will say. Many combiners are missing. Predaking's missing, but we do eventually see him in Power of the Prime series, so we give that a buy. But just off the top of my head, we don't have Defensor, we don't have Superion, we don't have Bruticus, we don't have Abominus. We don't. It's like if you want combiner wars, it's like when Captain America Civil War came out. If you want a war, you got to have more than just the few people that are knocking the shit out of each other, or like the 4, 5 combiners they have. No, it's four. It's four. Victoria and Devastator, Menacor, Combitron. That's all we've got. And one of the name's new. I mean, they could even brought in some from the Japanese series as well. Raiden, God Neptune, Leo Kaiser. I mentioned Leo Kaiser because as of right now, he has just been funded to the 10,000. So we've not got Death Cobra yet, but like I said, Devastator's the only one to be seen in his individual parts, and even then, only a couple of them. So good for them. Starscream betrays the council shock horror and becomes an omnipotent combiner god thingy. It's exactly what I've wrote down. But to be fair, it's just like from third drop from the sun, incoming transmission from the big giant head. Metroplex, his arm, makes an appearance and splats Starscream end of threat. And oh yeah, Devastator rips off Rodimus Prime's arm. Ooh, that's pretty much all my notes for that one because, like I said, it's a short series. It's very simple. There's not a lot of characters in it, if I'm completely honest. For a series trying to sell toys, I'm surprised if anyone. I mean, people bought the toys. I bought them, but I didn't necessarily need to watch the TV show to buy them. you know. Pretty much it for that one, because like I said, it's a very short compared to the other two series. That was a 45-minute block. For example, the next block, Titans Return, was 2 hours long. And I only just recently discovered that there's only 3 bits of music throughout all 3 seasons. So that's close to 5 whole hours of the same 3 bits of music or just silence in the background. Sweet God Almighty. Makes you miss the Generation 1 soundtrack. They had lots of individual wee soundtracks, you know? Even the War for Cybertron series had decent soundtracks. But this was like 3 tunes over and over and over again. But yeah, that's the end of this one. Next will be Titan Wars. Until then, roll out my fellow Cybertronians.